picture.
If you could, Tyner, I rewound the tape. If you would be kind enough to, can you demonstrate those various Zookys you got over there?
All right. With this, one thing that happened, this is the first time last night that I did this. I started, let's see, I started about, I'm trying to figure out where I started. Okay, I started here, you see that? Right. And I doubled the wire, and this didn't work out so good. The wire is a little too hard. And you see those little, I'm not sure they were necessary or they helped much. But then I ran it down here. These holes had been drilled. And then I ran it up here. It runs through here. Then it ran down and it attached both of these on, you see? Yeah. So there are no screws or bolts other than these nuts here. But that all of it is attached by that one wire.
What is the name of this instrument?
This is a cookie tin Zooky. So the cookie tin
but more generically, it is a Stradizooky?
Stradizooky, named after Stradivarius and Suzuki.
Okay.
And I told you the chaser on many months or even more than a year after you sent me that fax, right. And about how Suzuki died. He died on January 26, 98, and I found his birthday was October 18.
Wow, coming up.
Yep, it's the date here, and it's also Lee Harvey Oswald's birthday.
Wow.
Anyway, Suzuki was exactly 9 months minus 8 days short of his 100th birthday, right, yeah. Which is 1 human pregnancy.
And we know the...
You can pluck this too, look.
Oh yeah.
The thing with that I would ask is that safe for the hands?
Safe for the hands. This here, I've got those bent around so there's nothing sticking up.
Well, what will be the cost of making that instrument, for example? You know what I mean?
Tomorrow, I appear at Maxwell with this, and if somebody asks how much is that, I'll say 20 bucks, but A, if you wait a few months, I'll have them for 10. B, you ought to basically just look it over and then make one yourself.
What time do you typically go down there if somebody wanted to run into you?
Here's what's been happening Sunday mornings, and most mornings I've had trouble getting up out of the bed. If I had a bed partner, we'd get up earlier. But it is true that you don't remember the good intention to get out of bed. You say, gee, I don't have to get up yet.
What time do you typically get there nowadays?
Typically very late, but tomorrow is different because at 2 I've agreed to be
Tyner, would you be kind enough to show us that other Stradizooky as long as it's on my mind? Because you've got the cookie...
This is the earlier one, which... you see how I made the... So all the boxes I made, you notice they have this kind of tape running along the longer side, because every one of those is eventually a Zooky box, okay? And this is a Zooky bar, which should be hardwood. So now listen to the difference in volume. Now listen to this one with
because it took cookie again?
Yeah, so it's still worth making these, but now let's compare.
You know, that's interesting because that's the same concept as a dobro guitar with a metallic resonator in the body of the guitar. You're familiar with those, right?
No, not.
They're kind of a folk type instrument.
See the difference in the cat food can?
Yeah.
A dobro it's a standard guitar, but in the center of the body, there's a circular metallic device.
Okay.
And that creates and they call it a resonator, I believe. But I think it's
notch only perpetual. No stop and start, right? See? Now look at this one. Okay. Now look at this one. And then this one here. There was room on the board for this additional service, which is this flat wire line here, which there wasn't room on this one, but there will be when possible. And so now a little bit of study. Can you imagine how is it going to be possible for the child at age 1 month or whatever, assisted with a parental hand around the child's hand? The child will learn where to scrape and how hard to get what tones the child will learn all of that detailed knowledge about this thing before they're half a year old.
Yeah, you're speaking of unorthodox.
Why is that a bogey? Why is that named a bogey?
It's short for Kratzenbogen. Kratzen is when you... Ich kratze auf diesem Ding here, and dies ist mein Kratzenbogen. Bogen is the standard word for a violin bow.
Okay, so...
And this addresses the problem that in the Suzuki organization they use two English words spelled the same way, and one is bow and the other is bow. The children are taught to bow after they perform. They say, so like that's going to get confusing. So I decided let's move over and use bogen instead. Well, and then I thought bogey is even, you know, like it'll catch on.
Does that have any kind of connection at all, at least symbolically, with Mr. Bogart, or no?
Died of cigarette poisoning at age 57.
Yeah, right.
So I wanted to make two further points. You see this tape on here?
Yes.
The guy at Maxwell sometimes has it and sometimes doesn't. And the kind of tape I'm referring to, where I got one sitting around somewhere.
Well, you know, I need to go back. Is there anything else you'd like to demonstrate before we go?
Yeah, one other thing is that I learned just last night. You see the place where the notches are?
Right.
I sanded this way in order to make that smooth.
By hand or the belt sander?
By belt sander. And so now, here's the smooth side. Here's side with the notches, you don't hear the husky. Right. So I've learned that's another distinction I learned last night. Also in here.